Welcome to TTRL. We are your hosts, Roxanne Gallo and
Zachary Hines. Hey, Rox.
Hi, Zach.
Ooh. Ooh la la. So much talent.
What is happening? Are you imitating me? Is that me?
No. It's a celebration. It's a celebration, Roxanne. We are celebrating.
Yeah, let's go. Here we go. We are joined today by Ronnie D of Ronnie D and the Superstars. Hey, Ronnie, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
I am great. And not only are you in your own band with the Superstars, you do all kinds of other stuff with other artists in the area, right?
I do. I'm a bit of a producer. I'm a recording studio owner. And because of that, I'm super lucky to work with a lot of other artists. Even been dabbling in being a filmmaker lately, although to all my filmmaker mentors, I'm not a filmmaker. I just like making music videos.
It seems like you come from a musical family and that tradition is continuing with your son, who's also in the video. Can you tell us a little bit about your musical family?
Absolutely. I'm proud to say AJ is the fifth generation of professional musician in our family, as is my son Jacob, who's a drummer in town, who's in AJ's band. And my dad, his name Joey D, had a hit record in the 60s called Peppermint Twist. The Peppermint Twist, round and round, up and down, round and round, up and down, round and round, and up and down, and 1, 2, 3, kick, 1, 2, 3, jump. It's the first time there were ever close-ups on a shaking booty in a movie. Pretty awesome. He has a book coming out pretty soon. It's doing pretty good. And my grandparents and my great-grandparents are entertainers, both vaudeville and before. So it's the family business, but it's way more than that. It's a passion, it's a spiritual calling, and it's a life.
Can you talk a little bit about how you've seen the music scene change and grow in your time here?
I think there's always been a strong scene here because this is one of the few places in the country that I've been to, that I've lived in, and that I've heard the reports, because us musicians, we always talk shop, what does this gig pay? And, is the manager a jerk or whatever? And the Tampa Bay area is one of the few places in the country where a musician can survive on music alone and make decent money, like really good money. There are so many places to play and get paid. It's astounding. And a lot of people move here that are musicians instead of New York or Nashville or Los Angeles, because now the internet is where your dreams come true. It's not necessarily in a city per se. And here you can work and support a family. Somehow, since I've lived here full time since 1989, the lights never went off and we never went hungry. And I have only supported my family from music. So with that being said, being that you have so many places for musicians to make money, there's that many more artists, because every person you see in a beach bar singing Margaritaville, every single one of them, they write their own songs too.
Can you set up the video for us for Strangely Peculiar?
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you so much. So every band, every artist has a pandemic song, even if it was written pre-pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can't we all just cool out? Let's just have some decent vibes here. Just relax. Turn the TV off. Turn the news off. Put the phone down. Don't play into this world consciousness of fear just for a few minutes. Obviously, we're compelled to watch the news and we're compelled to find out all this stuff. But being that we're humans, it upsets us on such a deep level. So lyrically, where I was coming from on that song was just give yourself a break. Just unplug from all of it. Don't let the bad vibrations rule you, is what the hook of the song is. So with that being said, pandemic, had us all locked in, and we did a live stream for the Tampa theater, or as we like to say, the theater. And they had such a good time with us, and we had such a great time. They said, hey, so if there's ever anything we can do for you, just casually saying that like people do. But it was an epiphany, and I called them out on it. Can we come in there and shoot a video? Just me and a camera and a light. That's it. Skeleton crew. So I don't want to name names because the person that agreed to it did so under cover of darkness, and they may have let us in without it being on the official calendar for anyone else to know what's happening. This could have happened. And we went there and made this empty video. I saw the Ghost Light campaign and the Save Our Stages campaign, and it just seemed like a no-brainer. Is I'll just sing in a completely empty space. Now at the studio, we had just gotten a green screen room installed. We shot all the rest of the band against a green screen and superimposed it into the video. It plays into the ghost stories of the Tampa theater. It plays into the Save Our Stages, and it really is it's just talking about what we were all feeling at that time. With that being said, when you hang out with a bunch of musicians and you put on a song and you say, hey, act the fool, have as much fun as possible, it's the recipe for delight.
Let's be strong so we can get along. Unite and join in song.
We gotta join in the song, gonna do it again until we get it right, baby.
You should try to live your best life, knowing we're on your
On the
side.
side of the right, on the side of the right, when the sun's not shining.
It's such a simple plan. Stop working for the man. The benefits we will all see. On this you can rely. There is no compromise. If we want to be free. Do you want to be?
I'm headed straight to peculiar. Don't let the bad vibrations fool ya.
You want me to leave it, but people care. So let's all take this dare. Instead of stopping stare.
Baby, when and where we gonna do it again? Now 100% here.
You can choose to help and follow through. I gotta stay true.
We gonna stay in true with what you gonna do here.
It's just a simple plan. Stop working for the man. The benefits we will all see. On this you can rely. There ain't no compromise. If we want to be free. Do you wanna be?
Headed straight to peculiar. Don't let the bad vibrations fool ya.
Do you wanna be?
Don't let the bad vibrations fool ya. Lately, you've been strangely peculiar. Don't let the bad vibrations fool ya. Said the bad vibrations get you all around. Get you up and get you up and then you're in and down. While it's a day, baby, making yourself crazy. Don't let the bad vibrations make it easy. Wake up feeling strangely peculiar. Don't let the bad vibrations fool you.
It's just a simple plan. You got to understand the benefits we will all see. On this you can rely. There ain't no compromise. If we want to be free. Do you want to be
Better take it peculiar. Don't let the bad vibrations fool ya.
free?
His name.
His name's Patrick.
Hello, Patrick.
Hi,
Hello there.
Patrick. I also like to wave ferociously. and
Ray, you look so young.
TTRL, welcome. We are joined by our Creative Loafing Dream Team, as I'm going to start calling them, Editor-in-Chief Tampa Zaddy, who is also on daddy duty, and also by the Oracle of Ybor, Caroline DeBrule. Welcome, y'all.
First item of breaking news is Pat's gonna take a nap. Of course, vaccines. That's a thing. So Colin and I got lucky. We both are vaccinated. I know at the Stress Center, you all are vaccinated, I believe, because of the it's an educational institution.
Yeah, I through HCC, because one of their campuses is a FEMA site. They had like 500 a day for like everybody plus HCC employees. Like I went over like 2 hours before they opened, and I was like number 300. So I got that. And then in North Carolina, they are giving them away to whoever walks in a store, Walgreens on Saturdays. So my fiance got one.
You have the opportunity to do so, take it. The faster
Yeah.
we're all vaccinated, the better for everyone.
And of course, a new, it's so funny that you were in the woods when you were writing this column, Caroline, because a lot of people have been asking you about their jobs in a very deep way.
They have been. This week we have two questions. One was about professional jealousy, and the other was like, how do you actually relax and go on vacation? And the second one about vacation, I was definitely channeling what I was doing as my practical advice. It's like, just go away from people and like drink beer and read a book. It's gonna be great. Make stew. But no, people have been very frustrated with their jobs, and I think particularly with the pandemic, everybody wants to be. If you're able to keep your job, it's like you don't want to kvetch about it because like you are, you're so lucky because so many people have been laid off. So many people are worried about money. So those are issues I think people are scared to like bring up in their regular lives to people they know, and perhaps is the reason they write into a anonymous advice column.
Now, what were the cards saying?
So for those cards, it was the five of swords reversed, which is in tarot, the 2 is always the beginning of the card, the 10 is always the completion, the 5 is always the block. So the 5 of swords is the ego blocks. That is like you're by your lonesome, you're like, it's your ego that is like festered. And if it's reversed, I read that as it's been going on longer than 6 months, or it's going to happen in 6 months. And so what that is like your ego is really, really wounded and you're feeling really bad about yourself. And so for professional things like that is the belief that like if you work hard you should be able to get these things. Like if you're doing your best you should be able to succeed, because that's what we're told forever is that you work hard, you put in the time, you are rewarded. And people like who don't work hard or people who are terrible humans, like they don't get the reward, which isn't quite true. And so with that we also have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is a person who, if it comes up in a love story, like that is like the person that you're meant to marry, that's going to be your your spouse. That is like a very loving presence. But the cups are also a suit of connections and relationships. And so with a career, like regardless of what it is, like be it like you're a lawyer or you're in the medical field or you're in a creative field, it's like people really do hire who they know. People really do depend on connections, and if you don't have anybody, it is hard to break into that scene. And racism, sexism, like all those things like absolutely have a factor into it. But then also, it's the reason why so many writers move to New York and so many like actors move to LA. It's like you don't know who you're going to meet at a party. And it's like, oh, I actually need somebody who like knows how to read tarot. Or it's like, oh, I need somebody who like plays a bassoon. The advice that I gave is like, if you know somebody that has those connections in your field, because they didn't say what field they were in. If you know somebody that like, lean on them and see if they'll be able to help you. And if not, you have to be the person that goes out and makes connections. And like it sucks, and it's like that shouldn't be the reason for it. It's like it shouldn't depend on like how many like LinkedIn profiles that you're like connected to, but sometimes it's just the name of the game. And with the 6 of Cups, it's like a childlike sense of love. And so it's breaking away from the 5 of Cups, and so break away the problem, the cup suit, and it is a sense of like this childlike love and like why you started it anyway. So like if you became a lawyer because like you love justice and you want to do this help people, then that's, in there. Or if you became a doctor because you want to heal and you really want to bring this life to them, like, that is something that you should remember while you're going through, because it can be so frustrating. And, so much of jobs can be demoralizing. And, what we've learned in this pandemic is people hate them. People hate their jobs and they can't leave. And so it's like how to make these work, especially if it's a career that you really, really want.
It's such a great reminder to plug into why you want to do what you want to do. Remember what your original North Star was. And I think professional jealousy is just so rampant. I mean, I know I work with this one woman who just is, she hosts a show with me and she just, I'm just filled with envy every time I have to look at her.
Yeah, anybody that has questions about anything, it doesn't have to be about work. It can be about your love life. It can be about housing situations. It can be about, whether or not you should get a dog. The answer is probably yes. Feel free to send me a DM or an email.
TTRL, welcome. We are joined today by local musician, artist Vern Senior. What up, Vern? How are you?
What up? How you guys doing?
I'm good. Can you tell me a little bit about your name? Are you a senior? You had a junior?
No, the funny thing about it is I'm actually a third generation Vern. There was at one point a time when all the artists that were coming out in hip hop were named Lil something. And they did a study and seeing that there's like 13,000 Lils as far as hip hop artists go. There's like 13,000 of them. I'm like, that is totally unoriginal. So, I was thinking at first, I'll go the complete opposite way. What's the only way to make older sound attractive? I put the senior in there. I kind of wanted to change it like a little bit further down the line. I wanted to take the Vern off, but everybody seems to like the Vern Senior. But so senior is kind of like, I'm going in a different direction than all these other kids. You know what I'm saying?
What got you interested in being an originator and making music?
Oh man. Well, obviously the need for music came first. Just hearing music when I was young and trying to figure out, I'm like a naturally inquisitive person. So I was always trying to figure out how they made the music, right? Because hip hop in particular just doesn't necessarily have the live aspect like rock does, because everything is like real drums. With hip hop, it's more so electronic or samples of sounds already. So I was just very curious about how they made that. And then, just growing up, what really pushed me over the edge was like a few of my other favorite artists that were like rapping at the time. I'm technically a producer first and then a rapper second, because I wanted to make beats and make like sounds and all this other stuff before I ever wanted to like get on a microphone, you know what I'm saying, and be the star, you know what I'm saying?
Can you tell us a little bit about this video and song and your new album?
Oh, okay. So the video, Supernova, first single off of, second single off the new project. The new project is called Vern De La Rosa. It's a 2-volume project. Volume 1 is like my trademark hip hop style that everybody knows me for, braggadocious rhymes, talking about how cute I am and stuff like that. And then volume 2 is actually a lot more experimental. Being a producer, I'm very open-minded when it comes to creating, especially music. So on volume 2, I kind of step into like a different vibe. There's like house songs on there, and Supernova in particular is probably the first time I've ever used auto-tune successfully. And it really came out of nowhere. I really don't know how to explain it. It was probably the main melody just kind of like melancholy and deep, mysterious. That's kind of like my specialty. So it really just came out of me. I feel like I channeled my Marvin Gaye on that one. And so it was so experimental, but so good that I was just like, yeah, I'm putting this out. And the only way for people to really understand how good it really could be, you kind of have to put like a visual behind it, because it hits a little bit harder that way. It resonates a little bit deeper, especially when you can like convey, because like, you know, if I'm known for rap and then we play this next video, you're gonna be like, I was not expecting that at all. And so
I mean, I
I
wasn't.
really felt like see, you
I
know, a
wasn't.
lot of people weren't expecting that. And so but yeah, I feel like it's one of my more creative pieces when it comes to the art. That's why I chose that specific one to showcase here.